In order to run Java programs, Java runtime environment must be set up. Most probably your computer has Java runtime environment, but in order to write Java programs and compile them, you need to have the Java development kit. So what you can do, you can go to Google. In Google, write JDK download. Okay, when you write JDK download and do a search, you will see Java downloads, Oracle, something like that. Just click it. You will get to this page, Oracle page, which has Java downloads. Here, normally it opens with the Linux page, Linux downloads. But instead of, if you have a Linux computer, you can download from here the related package, one of the packages here. If the computer has an ARM processor, you can download this, otherwise download the other ones. If you have a Macintosh computer or Mac OS, a computer which runs on Mac OS operating system, then download the related program here. Or if you have a Windows, you can download the x64 installer. Okay, you can download the second one. Just click here on the third column, download the program, and then run the program and install JDK Java Development Kit to your computer. Then you will be able to compile Java programs and run Java programs. But this is not enough. You should also have a Java IDE. What is IDE? IDE is a integrated development environment. It makes writing programs easier. So especially for Java, it will make a big difference. You can write Java programs using, for example, Notepad text editor, but then to compile and run the programs will be quite difficult. If you use an IDE, integrated development environment program, then it will be much easier to write your programs and run them, compile and run them. The IDE that I will use is Eclipse. Eclipse IDE for Java. I will be using this program. In LMS pages, I have some information about that. How to use Eclipse Java IDE. Again, in Google, you can write Eclipse for Java, for example. You can write something like that. Do a search, and you can go and download Eclipse IDE here, eclipseide.org. You can go here, open it, and then from here you can download the Eclipse IDE. Okay, then install to your computer. After doing this, you will have both JDK installed to your computer and an IDE, Eclipse IDE, installed to your computer. So you can run the Eclipse IDE, but also you have to do one more important thing. On your desktop, for example, you can create a new folder. Let's call it CS102. And into this folder, CS102 folder, you can download the material, the resources from the CS102 pages in LMS. Okay, you can download Java lecture notes, summary sheet, blah blah blah, these things into that folder that you have created. I advise you to create such a folder. I also advise you to create you can put the Java lecture notes and other things here, but inside this CS102 folder, I advise you to create a subfolder, for example, for your Java programs, Java or Java PRG, okay? Java program or Java, just give a name to it. I usually use Java. In this CS102, I put generally the documents, and inside the Java subfolder, subdirectory, I put Java programs. Create such a directory. And in Eclipse, then what you can do, you can go to the package area here, click on New Java Project, and here just you can give, for example, CS102. I already have CS102 project. So I will give something as underscore A, another one. But you can just type in CS102. Instead of using default location, empty this box. And for the location, by clicking on the browse button on the right-hand side of this location area, just click here, go to desktop, and on desktop we have CS102 and Java. Okay, choose the directory that you have created for Java programs, for your Java programs. Select folder, just click on the select folder in this window. Then go to the next, click on next, and here you can just leave it as it is. You don't need to do anything more, and then click finish. Create module info. Okay, doesn't matter. Don't create or don't create, doesn't matter. Don't create. Okay, now we have our CS102 area. When we look to this folder, let's go here, CS102 and Java. Now you will see two directories and two files. Don't touch those. Just leave it as it is. You don't need to worry about this at all. In Eclipse, what you can do, you can then go to click on source. There is nothing yet there, but you can just right click, or is it probably new? You just right click and click on new. Now you have to write a Java program. Then Java programs are in classes. Okay, we already created a Java project, CS102 underscore A I had named, but you can just give CS102. On source, just click on right click, and with new, you can just click on class to create a new program. Give a name to it. For example, Java 01 is my program name. Okay. Finish. Now we have our program. But creating a program like that is not good enough, because first of all, we will create a class which will contain a program that will be run. So creating a Java program like that is not good. We can just delete this and restart over. Delete. Okay. Now go here. Sorry. Right click, new Java class. Here where there's one important thing. You can again say, for example, Java 01, but here there is a public static void main stuff. Okay, just if you click this public static void main line, the box at the left of this one, then you will have a class which will contain a program that can be run, a Java program that can be run. Now let's click finish. Here we have public static void main blah blah, and then we can write here, for example, I will explain the details later on. System dot out dot print ln, and between quotation marks, let's say hello universe. Okay. In Java, almost all statements are finished with semicolon. So I have to put a semicolon at the end. Now I finished my program. I have a program which only contains one line. In order to run a program in Eclipse, there is a yellow circle with a yellow circle with a white triangle in it. Here on the just on the top bar, in the buttons bar, there is this one, run Java 01 dot blah blah. I click and I see the output here. When you install Eclipse first time, this console or the output area may be just below. Okay, what you can do, you can just click on the label and move it to somewhere else. Okay, for example, I can move it here, or I can move it there, etc., etc. So I can change the places of the windows in Eclipse. Now this is our first program, but I will go back and explain to you now the Java programming language. So what we have to do, first we have to install and download and install JDK, Java Development Kit, and then download and install an IDE, and I advise you to use Eclipse IDE, but instead of Eclipse IDE, you can also use IntelliJ IDEA. There is many IDE, Java IDE that exists. The computers in the laboratories in Antalya Bilim University has IntelliJ IDEA IDE. After next week the laboratories starts. If you like Eclipse, and instead of Eclipse, if you like the IntelliJ IDEA IDE, you can also download from internet IntelliJ IDEA and install it and use it. Okay, now let's continue with the basics of Java. Here we have created a Java 01, and the file name is java01.java. The class name is Java 01. Always we have public space class and space, and then we give a name to the class. This is an application class because it contains public static void main. I will explain this public static void main later on. Today I will not explain it, but if you want to write a Java program which is runnable, then you have to have in your class, you have to have public static void main string blah blah args, and then curly braces are used to start and stop a block. This is a block. This is the block which belongs to the public static void main. And here I have my class block, which starts again with curly brace and ends with a curly brace. What I do, I will just put a comment and class. And here, let's put a comment and main. Main is finished here. Our main program is finished there. It is up to you to either have the curly braces on the same line or on the next line. It doesn't matter. For Java, it does not matter at all. This is our main block, and this is our Java 01 class block. Here we have double slash. What double slash is? Double slash is used in Java to write comment. I'm just here putting a comment. It is not a Java command. It's a comment. It's not a runnable thing. It is just some words or some explanations about the things. Here we have a comment. Let's say print a message, for example. Okay. What are we are printing? We are printing hello universe. So a program in Java consists of a class, a name. The file name is exactly the same with the name of the class. It is Java 01. It is java01.java file. If I change this 01 to 02, then it will not be correct. Probably you can see from my screen the red line below Java 02 because the file name is java01.java, but the class name is Java 02. They do not match each other. So this is a mistake, an error. I have to make it same with the file name. And then if I have a public static void main, then the statements inside this is runnable. You can run this program. Third, if I want to put some comments, some explanations about the program, then I can put them after double slash. I can write a Java statement, and after the Java statement, I can put some spaces and put here more comments. Okay. I can explain this statement, for example, or anything. So I can either write from the beginning of a line a comment, my first Java program, for example. Sorry, my first Java program. A line may consist of only a comment or can contain comment after some spaces, or can contain comment after some Java elements or Java statements. Can be followed by comments. So there are three ways of writing comments. One is / and some text, any text. On the same line as I've done here, there may be some statements or some Java elements. And then whenever we have /, all the rest of the line is comment, okay? The rest is a comment. If I put here A is equal to 8, it doesn't mean anything because I have / here, okay? Anything after / has no, is only explanation, has no meaning in terms of Java. Another way of writing comment is by putting / followed by */. I can have many statements in my program. Let me put here some statements. Int a semicolon a is equal to 7. System out println a, for example. Let me copy this statement here, and let's put here a. I want to print a. By the way, if I want to print something to the screen, one of the ways of writing something to screen is to use system.out.println with parentheses. This is a method, and anything between parentheses is printed. Here we are printing a. Let's run this program again. Now 7 is printed because the value of a is 7 and it is printed. I want to make all these 3 lines comment. What I can do, I can put at the beginning /*, and at the end */. Anything starting from /* to */ becomes a comment. Okay, all the contents here now is not Java program statements anymore. Now they become comments. Or I can write here, instead of just stuff, I can write explanations. Blah 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 blah. Some explanations. You can write some long explanations about your program. Okay, it can be something like this as well. Okay, if your comments are long and occupy many lines, you can use /* and */. Starting off at multi-line comments is /*, and at the end you put * and /. A third way is just putting *, / and ***. In this case, this becomes a special comment. It's again comment, but it's a special comment. Usually this is put at the beginning of classes or methods, etc. How they are processed. There are some special tools in Java which extracts this kind of special comments from programs and produce documentation about project. Okay, but I will not use this at all throughout the semester. This is a special thing. Since we will not write complicated programs and complicated projects, we will not do complicated projects. We will not read this kind of documentation comments, but it is possible. Now, as you see from this first program, there are several words like public or class or static or void, which are special. Okay, these special language words are called reserved words. Okay, we call them reserved words. There are a number of reserved words, abstract, const, blah 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 blah. Here, there is a list of reserved words or special words of Java in my lecture notes, like public, class, static, and void are some of them. System is not, out is not. I will explain this later on in coming lectures to you. But the others are reserved words. How do I understand if a word is a reserved word or not? In Eclipse, the reserved words are in purple and bold. Okay, This is not purple. This is black. This is blue. This is normal stuff, etc. Black again. But this is bold and purple. All bold. All the reserved words in Java are shown in Eclipse IDE and in purple bold font. How do I write an identifier? What is an identifier? For example, this class name is an identifier. This main is an identifier. I can have in my program some variables. Let me write here int a. A is a variable, or I can write a, for example. This is an identifier. It's a variable name. The method names, variable names, class names, etc. These element names that I use in my programs are identifiers. What are the rules of writing identifier names? It is very similar to defining variable names in Python. They have to start with a letter, A to Z, uppercase or lowercase, and they can also start with an underscore, okay, and a $sign as well. We can also use $sign in Java. For example, C3PO is a valid one, and after the first character of the identifier, which must be either alphabetic character, underscore, or $sign, we can also put digits, okay? But it cannot start with a digit. For example, 7AA is not a valid identifier name. It cannot be a valid file name or class name or variable name, because it starts with a digit. A variable name cannot start, or an identifier name cannot start with a digit. It cannot contain dot. It cannot contain space. Okay. It only can contain either underscore or $. It can also start with a $. For example, _1 underscore is completely valid. It starts with underscore and has a digit and underscore. It doesn't have space or dot or some other special characters. $x$ is valid. It starts with a $, contain a letter and a $, again. So these are the things that we can use: letters, digits, underscore, and $sign. But provided that it cannot start with a digit. The first character cannot be digit, but it can be letter, underscore, or $. So I have here put some valid identifier names and some invalid identifier names. Why is this invalid? Because it contains plus. Plus is not allowed inside an identifier name or a variable name. It cannot contain minus. It cannot start with a digit. It cannot contain dot. It cannot contain space, etc. So this is how we name our variable names or method names or class names. The first one has to be either $, underscore, or letter. Of course, using a letter is better. And then after that, we can also use digits. Normally, when we write a program and when we have a class name, the normal convention that the Java programmers do is to start the first letter of the class name uppercase. But if I have a variable name, usually they start with a lowercase. My age, for example. Oops, sorry. My age. Here I have used two words, my and age. In this case, I start with a lowercase, but every word, if there are more than one words in my identifier, every word starts with an uppercase. If I have, for example, Java, if it was, for example, my Java program, okay, I have these words in my class name. The class name, as I said, starts with a capital letter, and every word in the identifier, if an identifier contains more than one word, of course, space is not allowed. I can only use characters and letters, digits, underscore, and $. cannot use space and other special characters. But here I have 3 words, my Java program. The usual way of writing identifier names is that if it contains more than 1 word, every word starts with a capital letter. The first character is uppercase if it's a class name. The first letter is lowercase if it is a variable name or method name. Let's go back here to write here Java 01 because the file name is Java 01. If the identifier consists of a single word or part of a word, all letters are used in lower count, sum, CNT, city, blah, blah, blah are examples. If the identifier consists of 2 or more words, first letter of second, third, etc. subsequent words are uppercase. Of course, don't forget class names. In class names, we write the first character in uppercase. If an identifier is a constant, I will explain this to you later on. In Java, if you have a constant in your program, what is a constant? A constant is something that's the value which of which the value doesn't change. In my program, I can define a max student integer thing, and always it will be 50. I cannot say max student equal 55 or 65. I cannot change this. How do I do that? I write final before the specification. This is the declaration, and this is the initialization equal 50. I will explain this to you in more detail later on. If I put final before this declaration, then it makes this variable not this thing not a variable but a constant. And in Java, the constants are all written in capital letters. Okay. If you use final, make all the letters capital. Final double pi equal 3 point blah 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 blah. Another important thing in Java programming, in Java, I can do it like this. Here, this is here, and this is indented more than necessary, and I just put this in other line. I make the program. I made it quite ugly. Now this is an ugly looking program. My age is equal to, for example, 67. Let's put here system out println stuff. Control C. V. Delete my age. Now I have a quite ugly program, but it is runnable. Nothing changes. Nothing. The Java doesn't care about that. But this is not good. Why? When we have a block, everything inside the block have to be indented. Now I have another block here, so my indentation has to be 2. Okay. Public class, my program name, and start with a curly brace, and anything inside this here should be indented by one tab character, for example. I have another block here, so I have 2 indentation. One block, 1 indentation, another block. Now the indentation becomes 2. It is not mandatory, as you have seen it here. I can put it like that. I can go and put this like this. It will still run correctly. As you see, it is runnable. I just clicked on the button here, run Java 01. Do you see on the upper left corner? Close to upper left corner. If I run this program, it runs. It doesn't give any error, which is not common in Python. In Python, it has to be absolutely correct. Indentation have to be correct. But in Java, you don't need to write it like that. But I strongly advise you to obey the normal convention. If you have a block, everything in the block is indented equally. Now this looks much nicer. Okay. If I do it like the other way around, like this, for example, it is quite ugly. Okay. this becomes ugly, although it is runnable. So we have to care about the indentation. If I have a curly brace, anything in the curly brace is indented by one extra tab character. You don't need to worry about this because let's remove all of this here. Control X. If I go here and at the end of this curly brace, I'm here on this line, at the end of this line, I just hit new line on my computer keyboard. It automatically indents the thing. So I can write it system dot out dot print ln hello. Let's write this and semicolon to finish the statement. Now it printed hello here. Now I am here at the end of this line. I'm at the end of this line. I press Enter key from my keyboard and it automatically indents correctly. Okay, you don't need to worry about that. If you just write a sentence, int a is equal to 88, semicolon, press Enter, it will go to a correct place. Just copy this, Control C, go here, Control V, remove the hello, blah, blah, and put A here, run the program. I see that 88 is also printed. The value of the variable A is also printed. I will explain this, what is int blah, blah, later on to you. So white space and indentation is quite important because if you don't use correct white spacing and indentation in your program, the program will be more difficult to understand, more difficult to read and understand. If everything is nicely aligned and indented, it will be easier to understand. So here I have a summary of the first chapter. At the end of some chapters in my lecture notes, I have summary. One important thing, if you want to write a Java program that is runnable, your class must contain public static void main. As I said, I will explain the details of this later on. Now let's continue with data and expressions. In Java, there are some primitive data types or basic data types. They are either called primitive data types or basic data types. There are 8 primitive data types: byte, short, int, and long. The first 4, these 4 variable data, these 4 data types are integer data types. There are 4 different integer data types. Byte is a 1 byte integer, short is a 2 byte integer, int is a 4 byte integer, and long is an 8 byte integer. So the capacity of a byte is from -128 to +127. If you want to use a variable which will only contain some values less than 100, for example, you can use byte in order to save space. But since the modern computers have gigabytes of memory, you don't need to do that most of the time. Short uses only 2 bytes. It's again integer. All these 4 byte, short, int, and long data types are integer data types. But most of the time, or almost always, we will use int. Int occupies 4 bytes, and it is the default data type for integers are int. We have 2 data type, float and double, which is for floating point numbers, for 5.6 or -28.09, etc. For real numbers, we use float and double. Float has lower capacity, double has bigger capacity. Always we will use double. Okay, double has a bigger capacity. Most of the people, while writing a Java program that uses real numbers, use double. Another basic data type is char, which only contain one single character. Okay, it contains only a single character. For strings, I will show it to you later on. Strings are objects, not basic data types. We also have a Boolean basic data type, which is to store true, false values. It can only contain two different values, either true or false. These are Boolean. The type of this data is Boolean. So we have only 8 primitive data types. You have to know these 8 data types. Here I have given some explanations. Integer primitive data types is byte, short, int, long. 8 bits, 1 byte, 2 bytes, 4 bytes, 8 bytes. And this is the capacity or the numbers that can be contained in a byte variable, short variable, int variable, or long variable. And what is this E? E means 10 to the power. Minus 10, 10 to the power 18. E18 means 10 to the power 18. Or E18 again 10 to the power. It is from minus 10 to the power 18 to plus approximately 10 to the plus 10 to the power 18. Float and double float variables occupies 4 bytes. Double variables occupy 8 bytes. As I said, we will almost always use int for integers and double for doubles, for real numbers. How do we define a variable? First of all, you write the data type. For example, I write int, and then I write the variable name. Let's go to our program. Here I have, for example, int a. What happens now? I created a variable a of int basic data type. Now I can put into a value. A is equal to 88, for example. Okay. I can do it like this. Define a variable. This is now a declaration. This statement called declaration. As I said before, almost all statements end with a semicolon in Java. If you forget semicolon, it will not compile. Okay. If you try to run, you will get an error. Here you will see red stuff. It is an error because I forgot or removed the semicolon at the end of A is equal to 88. If I run it again, now I have something correct. So this is a declaration. The variable a is declared as an int variable. It will contain integers. And here I have an assignment statement. What I did, I assigned to variable a 88. I can also do this. 88 multiplied by 7. Here I have an expression. The expression is computed first, as in Python, and it is assigned to the variable on the left-hand side of the assignment operator. Let's run this. Now I have this result. So the result of this expression is 616, and here we are printing the variable a. If I want to print, for example, the number is and then a, if I put comma here, it will not work. In Java, if you want to print something, you can use one of the ways of printing something is system.out.println, but it requires only one expression. Here I have one expression, one thing, and comma, second thing. It only can contain one thing. So what I do, I put here plus. What is this plus in Java? Now I have a string here, plus operator, and I have an integer variable here. Java has some mechanism to automatically put together a string and a number data. Okay. How does it do it? It creates a string from this number. A is 616. What it does, it creates something like 616. Okay. This is a numerical 616, but it creates from this a string. It converts this a to string 616, and plus is string concatenation operator in this case, because before this plus, I have a string. Let's put here a plus. 88 plus 7. This is a number. This is a number. Therefore, this plus is addition operator. But here I have a string and an integer. Since one of the arguments of the plus here is a string, then this becomes a string concatenation operator, not addition operator. Okay. In this case, Java automatically converts this number to string. It gets a string representation of the number and perform the string concatenation. Let's run this and let's see the result. 95. 88 plus 7 is 95. Here we have addition. Here we have string concatenation. A is converted to the string 95, string which contains the character 9 and character 5, and the concatenation is done. Now here in this parenthesis in println, we have one string plus one integer. It converts the integer to string. It performs the string concatenation. So all the rest is this whole string. Okay. Let's put here another plus, and inside this, let's put a dot. Let's run this. Now we see that we have also concatenated a third string one number. Therefore, this plus is a string concatenation operator, becomes a string concatenation operator. A is converted to string. We get this from A here in this statement. And then a dot is also concatenated. So we have this string. Okay. So we can either write a statement which contains a basic data type and one variable, or we can also have more than one variable, A, B, and C. Okay. Now, in the same statement, in the same Java statement, declaration statement, I have declared three variables, A, B, B, C, 3, E, O. Okay. The first variable name is A. The second variable name is BC. The third variable name is C3PO. And here I can say B is equal to A minus 1. And C is equal to A divided by B, for example. Something like that. Or multiplied by B, whatever. So here I have three variables, A, B, and C. Sorry, not B, B, C, and C3PO. Sorry. So this is not B, this is B, C. I have variable A, variable BC. In this assignment, I used variable A, and for the C3PO, I used variable A and variable BC. Okay. Of course, this warns me that the Eclipse warns me that C3PO and BC are not used, that the BC are not printed. C3PO is used, so BC is used, but C3PO is assigned something, but it is not output. Let's put here plus C3PO. Now everything is processed. BC is used here, but C3PO was not used anywhere else. Now I use it here. Let's run this. So it seems that C3PO is 8,930. Okay. Don't be confused. I have printed a dot, but instead of that, let's put here just space, the numbers. Let's put here R, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the numbers are 95 and 8,930. So we can, in one statement, we can declare many variables of the same type. If BC or C3PO is not int, but some other data type, then I have to write it separately. C3PO, for example, is a double variable. Okay. I can do that. Let's run this. And as you see now, when I print C3PO, it doesn't print 8,930, but it prints 8,930.0. Why? Because now I defined C3PO variable as a double data type. Double data type is a real data type, so it needs a decimal point. We will see many similar examples later on. Let's go back here. I can also assign, during the declaration, I can assign values to stuff to the variables. Okay, I have now here this int a equal 4 and bc. In this statement, two variables are defined. Variable a is defined, variable bc is defined, but also variable a is assigned the value 4. bc is not assigned anything yet. What happens here? bc is equal to a minus 1. A was 4. A 4 minus 1, 3. So bc will be 3. 4 times 3, what will be C3PO? 12.0. Let's run this. So we have this out. So when we declare variables, we can declare more than one variable, or if we wish, we can only define one variable. This is also valid. Okay. And we can also assign initial values to variables when we declare variables. Okay. I can say BC is equal to 877, for example. I define two variables, variable A, variable BC, and variable YY. Now three variables are defined, A, BC, and YY. A and BC are initialized to some values, but no value is assigned during the declaration to YY. You can do this kind of variations. Noble, cats, and pi. Two variables are defined. Cats is not initialized. Later on in my program, I will assign some values to cats, but pi is initialized to some value here. Here I have symbol 2, top grade, and separator. Four variables are declared as character variables. The first character variable is symbol 1. The second character variable is symbol 2. They are not assigned anything yet. By the way, in exams, sometimes the students ask me, for example, I write something like this. Let's go here. L. I'll do it like this. 1 minute. Instead of this new, let's make this big. L name equal blah blah blah. I write something. Sometimes they confuse L with 1. Okay. In exam papers, this is L and this is 1. Do you see the difference? The top part of 1 is not horizontal. It is oblique. But this is L and this is 1. Okay. So in exam papers, if you see something, just you can find the difference between L and 1 by looking to the upper part of the letter. Because I have encountered this kind of, get this kind of questions during the exams. The student says, is this 1 name or L name? This is L name. Of course, a variable name may not start with a digit. Okay, this has to be L. But you can also find it from how it looks. The top part is horizontal in L, lowercase l, and it is oblique. It has some dig. It is not vertical. It's not horizontal. So this is 1. So here I have symbol 1, symbol 2, which are not assigned. These are single character variables. Top grade is a single character variable. Separator is a single character variable. Here you see that there are single quotation marks. Okay. Top grade and separator are assigned values. Symbol 1 and symbol 2 are not assigned values. But 4 variables are defined in this statement. To write a character, single quotation mark is used. To define a string constant, we use double quotation mark, okay? In Python, we could use single ones, but in Java, this is not possible. This is an error, okay? In Java, you cannot write a string using single quotation marks. You must use double quotation marks for writing string constants in Java. Here again, we have new line, which is \n. This is a single character, okay? \n is a single character, which is a new line character. \t is a single character, which is a tab character. For Boolean, we can only have true and false. How do we write? We just write it as true or false. So this is how we write Boolean values. Flag and done are two Boolean variables. They will contain only either true or false, and no other value is allowed in Boolean variables. What is a character string? Here I have a character string, which is not valid. In Java, a character string cannot extend to more than one line. Here we have line 1 and line 2. We cannot do this. This is invalid. But what I can do? I can start the first line and then plus. On the second line, I can write the rest. Okay? Because here my string starts on this line, finishes on the same line, but statements in Java may span on more than one line. For example, I can do this. Instead of a minus 1b, I can put this minus 1 to the next line. This doesn't matter. The program will run correctly. Okay. So as long as you have, instead of space, you can put this, for example, a minus 1, a minus 1. I can write it like that. This is correctly valid. As you see, the program runs correctly. But of course, this is not good. Sorry, let's go here. Let's make it as it was before. But it is possible. If a statement is too long, for example, if I have too many things here, C triple blah, if it is too long, I can put the rest on another line. Okay. Here I have something. Instead of a space, I can also put new line, go to the next line. This will be correct. I can run the program again. So if I have a long statement, hello and plus, I can have here hello CS101, 102 students. I can do this, okay? A statement in Java can span over multiple lines. Since it is finished with semicolon, Java compilers know that the statement is not finished yet here because it didn't find the semicolon yet. It continues and adds this to the end of this one. So everything here up to semicolon makes one Java statement. Is this understood? Is this clear? If you have questions, you can open your microphone and ask your questions to me, okay? Don't, you can, anytime, you can open your microphone and ask questions to me. I want everything to be crystal clear. Any questions so far about Java syntax? So if I have, for example, a last name string variable or string object and a first name string object, but I want to put last name, comma, and space first name, for example, let's take this one, Control C, let's put in our program. Let's go here, let's write this here. Of course, I have to have some string. last name equal, for example, Osman, string first name equal. Of course, I can make this name capital, as I said, since there are two words, first name, last name, name, and name capital. Let's go here. Halil. Of course, don't forget to put semicolon at that. Now I have one string object which contains a string, another string object which contains a string. I have another string object name, which is made by concatenating last name, then comma and space, then first name. And let's take this println, blah, blah, Control C. Let's go here, click and press enter, put this and print name. Now let's run this program. It prints Özman, comma, space Halil. Here, how do we concatenate things in string? We can concatenate strings using the plus operator. String 1, second string. This string is concatenated to the end of this one to make a new string, and then first name is also concatenated to the end. So the result string after this statement is this one. So in Java, in order to concatenate strings together, you use plus operator. Plus operator together with numbers. A is an integer variable, 1 is a number. So number and number. Here, this plus operator is an addition operator. This plus operator is string concatenation operator because at least one of the arguments is a string. Now, let's say here string result equal, I will take this stuff. And I will put here result. Now what I'm doing, I have created a string object, and this string object is made by a string plus operator and a number. A is an integer variable. Okay. So what happens? Normally in many other languages, you will get an error to this statement. But in Java, there is a nice feature which makes this possible. What is this feature? If there is a plus operator between a string and a non-string stuff, here A is a non-string, it's an integer, then what happens? Java automatically converts this integer to string and performs the string concatenation operation. Okay. So if you look here, total is plus 24 plus 41. Let's take these two lines. Control C. I will put them here. You will see that the result of this and this are totally different. These are the two lines. What happened? Here we have a plus and another plus. Since there are both plus operators, what is the order? First, this plus will be done. But before this plus, we have a string. So what happens? 24, the number 24, is converted to string, which contains the character 2 and character 4. The string concatenation is done. We have therefore this part. Okay. Since total is and 20 plus 24 results as a string, 41, then this plus operator becomes also a string concatenation operator. 41 is converted to string and concatenated to the end of that string made by this first expression. So the result is this one. Okay. But here, I have a parenthesis. Okay. So when there is a parenthesis, first inside the parenthesis must be done. Therefore, 24 plus 41 must be done first. 24 is integer, 41 is integer. Therefore, this plus operator becomes an addition operator. 24 plus 41 is 65. Now, from this parenthesis, we get 65 and total plus 65 string plus number. Therefore, since there's a string before this plus operator becomes a string concatenation operator, not addition operator, and 65 is converted to string and concatenated to total is, and we get this. So here we have two plus operators. Since the order is from left to right, the leftmost one is first. A string results from here. Therefore, this plus operator also becomes a string concatenation operator because before it there is a string made by the first plus. So here both this plus operator and this plus operator are string concatenation operators. But here I have a parenthesis. Therefore, inside the parenthesis must be evaluated first. This plus operator is an addition operator because both operands are integers, are numbers. It performs addition here. This is an addition operator. This is string concatenation operator. Okay. And the command is for that. Addition, which is inside the parenthesis, which has priority. If in an expression there is a parenthesis, first the parenthesis is done. Here I have a parenthesis and a non-parenthesis stuff. There is no parenthesis before total is, etc. So this parenthesis is done first, and then the rest is performed. Is this clear? So there's a quite important difference between these two lines. The result is totally different. Oh, we have passed our time. Okay, I will finish my lecture because I have another lecture now. CS101. Oh, sorry, is it 1 hour or 2 hours today? Oh yeah, we have finished our lecture. I will start my other lecture, which is CS101. Sorry, I will not be able to get your questions because I have to start immediately the other lecture.